Is love. Love and self-love and the balance between them, and also being love, embodied as love. And many of you may know, or maybe you don't know, when I was on the Fox reality show Utopia, they named me #Dr. Love. So I do feel that I'm here as a bringer of unconditional love. I just broke my fast today, if you've been following along. Today was day 5 of a fast that I was doing, as I was also taking in bobenzana, which is a healing flower from the Amazon. Hello everyone, you can say hi as you're coming online, and if you're catching the replay, you can always share your comments in the comment section, even on the replay. And so I just ate for the first time, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, it's very fascinating. If you don't eat for a few days and you just have water, the taste of food is like amazing. I first started with celery juice, and then I had some fresh pressed apple juice that I pressed myself from 3 apples, and I also made the celery juice myself. And the apple juice was like so sweet. I was like, who needs candy? And I thought I was going to just do juices today, but I was just really hungry. And I'm also navigating like multiple things. Like if I was just doing a water fast, that's one thing. But because I'm doing a modified dieta, and also that the bobenzana flower takes you through your own process to deeper love, to be embodied as more love by helping you release traumas and grief. And then of course I'm navigating grief in general right now. So it was like so many things all at once. So I was like, I need to nourish myself. And though I'm a spiritual warrior at heart, I also feel I'm coming into a new chapter of my life where I'm more embodied as love and feminine-led way, which is why I'm hosting the Embodied Woman Program, because there are many ways we can operate in life, many ways we can do things, and I'm really about the nourished feminine way. And that's why the new program is called the Embodied Woman, and it's all about living heart-led, feminine-led, intuitive-led. And so what's most nourishing is to feed myself and nourish myself. I don't need to do like 3 processes at once. That was the old me. The old me was like, warrior, 21 days in the jungle, like crazy stuff like that. Now I'm like, let's love ourselves. Let's honor ourselves. And that's part of self-love. So right now I'm giving you an example of self-love. Sometimes we do need to go through rigorous processes, and we're healing and evolving and ascending. But like I said, I feel there's many ways to do things. And in the Embodied Woman, I want to share with you ways that we can heal and develop ourselves personally and professionally in a way that's still nourishing. We can do both. We can do all of it together, but in a way that's more nourishing and feminine-led. So then I just had some grapes, and I had a nectarine, or peach actually, and so now I'm here. So I could feel like my body's like, you know, integrating all of those natural sugars, and so I definitely feel like I have more energy for sure. So that's good. Because yesterday when I was on the live, I was feeling like, oh my gosh, like it was a little hard. And because I have another new offer launching today, and the Embodied Woman starting on Friday, I just felt like I need to make sure. And then I have clients on Wednesday and Thursday, and so I just felt like I needed to make sure that I'm nourished and I can do everything I want to do. So it's like the balance of the two. And so today I want to talk to you about love and self-love and the balance of them and what they mean. And sometimes like love can look like having graceful boundaries, and unconditional love can look like just allowing people to be as they are and holding space and actually finding what's beautiful even if you're different. And so a few examples came to my mind as I was feeling into what I was going to share today. And I feel that part of love is boundaries. And being embodied as love is like being like a rose. And I love the rose. Like, as you know, I recently just went to Peru and I did a rose dieta. And I love the rose plant. She's like the flower embodiment of love. She's like so beautiful. Her fragrance. We just feel love when we're around her. But if you ever looked at the rose, she has boundaries too with her thorns. And so I feel an embodied woman is like the rose. The embodied woman is like the rose because you can be blossomed in your full radiance, in your essence as love. And part of that means like holding a gaze with someone, being sweet and kind and loving, but clearly having your boundary even on an energetic level so people know not to mess with you. Because I have worked with women in the past where they have felt scared in a way. There's underlying fear to really be fully expressed and fully radiant and fully as love, because fearful for what that might mean to others. They don't want to get the wrong attention. But if you have energetic boundaries, as well as you're able to speak your boundaries, like no, yes, and being able to trust yourself in that, because I've observed a lot of women where still as adults, they have a hard time saying no. And for self-love, you need the no, and you need the boundaries. And so even within yourself, as you're starting to embody more of your love essence as a feminine embodied being, where are you operating still where you don't honor your no? And you're not fully expressed because of the fears that you might think that attention can bring to you. I know even for myself, for a long time, I felt like I couldn't wear certain things because, oh no, I might look too sexy. Or it's like I could wear a potato sack and I'm still going to be sexy. It's just my energy, And so there's that balance. And the same is true for unconditional love with others. You can still be loving, and I'm going to give examples of what I mean by unconditional love, but still have your boundaries and know when you can love someone unconditionally from afar, but keep your distance because you still have self-love. So we can be loving beings no matter what. Like someone could do the worst thing to you in the whole world. Hi, Gina. I love when you guys come on and share emojis. I don't like to call people out when people come on live, but I feel like if you leave a comment, I'm going to say hi to you. Because I know some people want to keep their anonymity and kind of watch in the background. So if you want me to say hi to you, just a reminder, always share. You can share an emoji or a comment or something. And so let's say I want to give a few examples of unconditional love. Our parents were likely not always unconditional. Love you too. Our parents were not always unconditional love to us. And some people might have had that experience, but I know many people who haven't. And I know in moments like, I know my parents love me, but in moments where I was really challenged and hurt and upset, instead of them just holding loving space, because that's what unconditional love is. You want to think of the divine mother archetype. Instead of my parents just like holding space for me and loving me, and maybe I just needed to cry, they came in like, well, you should be doing this and you should be doing that, and and it's like, that's not what I need in this moment. I just need you to love me, right? And then later, you can share all that. But really, like, even as we're going to you might have children now, or you're going to have them, you really want to cultivate the frequency of unconditional love to raise children and even your beloveds, your friends, your family, your partner, to be able to hold loving space, especially when they're going through a hard time, and not feel the need to preach. That's not unconditional love. Not like, oh, I told you so. No. There's a time for that, But in moments of challenge, we want to be able to hold that loving space. And that's a reflection for ourselves. Do you do that for yourself? When you're going through a hard time, do you start saying, oh, I wish I didn't do that? And you start like talking about all this regret in your mind, and you think, oh, there was that moment and I should have did this and I don't know why I didn't do that. That is not love. That is not unconditional love to yourself. And so the reason why I talk about unconditional love is because it's really important for the nervous system. And as we are becoming embodied women, the radiance and the energy of an embodied woman is being really grounded and centered and being able to express the full range of your emotion and allowing yourself to be as you are. Not thinking, oh, I need to change that and I need to do this and I can't believe I'm upset and I can't. You're never wrong, ever. You are never wrong. And I find that especially women in the personal development field, women who are on a spiritual path, sometimes we can really strive for perfection. And in that striving for perfection, sometimes we can be hard on ourselves. And so this brings us into what self-love looks like. Hold space for yourself like you are the person you love the most in the world. Like I think of my nieces and nephews, and like I was just in New York before I came back to Ibiza, and they're like the sweetest. And when they cry, I never say, don't cry. I just hold them tighter. You know, I just hold them and I love them and I rock them and I just hold space for whatever they're processing. Of course, if there's a need they're crying about, like hunger or they wanted their pacifier, I give that to them. But, you know, if they like fall and I just love them, I'm not like, no, don't cry, right? Because that's shutting someone down. And if we can all learn to hold space for ourselves and each other in this unconditional love kind of way, we're going to see a different world. Because so much of what creates the frequency of love, so now we're getting into being love. So much of what creates the frequency of love is the less residue you have in your body. If you have trapped, unprocessed emotions, you cannot be the frequency of love. Why? Because that's all festering under the surface. Then now you have to go and process your emotions and all right? So it's like we're setting ourselves back every time we don't allow ourselves to be as we are. Because then we have to trap emotions and suppress them. It's like brushing things under the rug. And that's all there on an energetic level and it's felt. People don't know how they're feeling it, but they feel it. It's like people who have anger and rage that they haven't processed. You still feel it when you're around them. You don't know how, you don't know what it is, but there's something about that person. And so in order to be love, to really be the true, pure essence of love, we need to clean up anywhere we have resentments, angers, blame, anywhere we haven't forgiven people. And I'm going to devote day 7 of this live to forgiveness. So we're on day 5. I'm going to devote day 7 to forgiveness because that is a hallmark of an embodied woman. And I feel that as embodied women, we're the feminine leaders here to co-create the new earth. Holding resentments and grudges towards anyone is just poison to yourself. Like I said, even if they did the worst thing in the whole world to you, you feel better when you can actually send them love from afar. They don't have to be your best friend, but you just understand how everything is serving us. And I'm going to save that transmission for that day. But when it comes to us being love, it's like we need to clean up everything that is not love. And there are ways to do that energetically, like just bringing in more high frequency, bringing more of your divine essence. And I do this with my clients and in the Embodied Woman Program through energy work, energy healing, light language. I also use instruments like the sacred drum and singing bowls. So all of these higher frequencies, they clear out the lower frequencies. There's also somatic practices we can do, like And actually in my Ascension Code Love, I share them, and that's only $33. So if you kind of want some embodiment tools to use quickly, like there's, and I'm going to be sharing them in the Embodied Woman Program, but there's things we can do in the right now moment to shift how we're being in our body, where we're bringing attention and awareness to, that immediately changes how we feel. So all of this is available to you. You are the one that decides how you show up to life. And when we show up as love, hi Degmed, when we show up as love, then we magnetize in more love into our lives, more opportunities. People are like, who's that person? You become more magnetic when you're embodied as love. And it keeps coming in to share this other example of what I mean by unconditional love. So, as some of you know, hi Eve, thank you for your light. Hi Travel for Light. I love when you guys comment so I could feel the connection. And so one example of unconditional love that I want to share with you is also about releasing judgments. It's so common and like mainstream for people to have judgments. Like there's even like magazines dedicated to like saying judgy things about people, right? And hello, Jay Dorsey. There's also Instagram channels I've seen, like I was actually on one of them. I can't remember what it's called, but they like roast people who are in spirituality. And I remember there was this guy I went to middle school with, and he had one of these pages where he would take pictures of people on the subway and like make fun of them. And I was like, don't do that. Like, that's not love. And even like the humor of people who are like from the UK and Australia, they like to make fun of each other, and it means affection. And I'm like, no, right? So that's me, because I'm really here as a vessel of unconditional love on this planet. And my feelings get hurt really easily. And some people might say I'm a little too sensitive, and that's okay. People can have their opinion, right? And so I don't use substances, meaning I don't drink or do drugs. I also live on Ibiza, which is like known as one of the party capitals of the world. And it's because it's so beautiful. But I don't live in the area that's like that. I live in the north, which is nature and healing. Like usually where there's good energy, the party finds it because people like to be there. They feel good when they're there. So I'm here for the healing and energetic properties of the island. I'm not here for the party. But do I love to dance? You betcha. And will you sometimes find me at a big club or at a dance event or whatever? Yeah, 100%. And what I've observed about myself is I can go to a place where people are like out of their mind on alcohol or drugs or whatever, and I'm 100% sober. And when they're just like, woo, like going crazy, I can literally smile at them and be like, they're having such a beautiful time. And like love them in that moment and just be like, look how beautiful. They're having like a one-person party, you know? And sincerely mean that. And so this is like the attitude that as I've become more embodied. You know, I feel like I used to be more judgy of drugs and things like that. I'll admit that. But part of my journey into deeper love and unconditional love is like I can literally love anyone as they are, however they are. They show up as a mess, whatever. And I feel like that's part of my nature and why over the years I've had all kinds of clients. Like there was a time when I lived in New York City and I was interestingly attracting males who had really embarrassing, what they felt were embarrassing situations and these fetishes and all these things that they felt they never told anyone in their whole life. But they found me on social media and they were just like, I feel like I can talk to you about this. And I was so compassionate and I was able to hold space for everything that was embarrassing for them, that I was just like complete unconditional love and really was there to walk them through that. Travel for life. Oh, thank you. So it is a practice, because in society we're not raised to, we're actually raised where it's like making, like, there's bullying. There's so much bullying that's not love. And even when I was in the Fox reality show where they named me Dr. Love, I had different anti-bullying campaigns reach out to me, because on the show I was kind of bullied because I was different. But I didn't even know I was being bullied. Actually, it was like happening all behind my back. Like they were threatening to put like, what do you call it? Like bugs in my food. And I didn't know. But thankfully, I don't believe it happened. But what I feel is that just because other people act a certain way, we can still show up as love. So I can go places where people are different than me, and we can still be love. And someone can do something horrible to me, and I can still be love towards them, because it actually is not about me. If someone does something that's not kind or deceitful or whatever, it's not actually about me. It's about them. And that's one of the key perception shifts we need to have in order to be love, is to remember nothing is about you. It's not about you. It's about the other person. And you're here to be an embodied woman. And I know there's some men on this live, but I'm speaking to the women who I'm calling into, who are ready for the next level of their spiritual, personal, and professional development, to join me inside the Embodied Woman Program that begins on Friday. Because we're here as pillars of light, pillars of love. Love is one of the foundational essences and ways of being for this new earth paradigm. And it is a completely new education, because so often it's like tit for tat, or they did this, so I need to be like this. Whereas we can just lead with love. It does not even matter what anyone else is doing. It's like, what are we feeling intuitively? How do we want to show up to a situation? We're so powerful. We can shift every situation with our energy, with how we're being. Because as humans, we're polarizable. So I want to show you the practices and the ways you can, in seconds, shift your energy and be love and feel love. And there's a practice I want to leave you with so that you can embody unconditional love in every moment as much as you can, is I invite you to look at everything and everyone through the eyes of love. Like if right now I'm outside, it's like I can look at this cactus, I can look at this tree, I can look at how leaves are swaying on this olive tree, and I can just love it and feel love from it. And when I'm out, I could choose to bless people and send them love, even if they don't know, and even if I don't even talk to them. I could just be like this love fairy. And I want you to let me know how that makes you feel. And these are different ways of being. You don't have to do anything. It's like you're literally overflowing with love. You're sending your love out to everyone. And I never want to be a person who villainizes another person, because I know that they're going through something. That's why they do that. Do I have to have them as my friend? Do I have to have them in my life? No. But I can also have compassion, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. So see how that lands and what shifts. And if you want more embodied practices for love, and the Ascension Code Love is available to men and women. So if I know some males tuned into this live, so you can catch that if you want to go deeper on this topic. And the Embodied Woman is for women only. And I would love to receive you if you're looking for your next program, your next activation, your next, even if you've worked with me before in the past, this is going to be different. I've come into new things in these past years since my last women's program, which was the Ultimate Woman. There's going to be some rituals similar, but so much is new. And as I said, we're here as the feminine leaders co-creating the new earth, and we lead with love. As an embodied woman, we lead with love. So I invite you to reach out to me. The link is in my bio, but connect with me. I'd love to chat with you about it if it's calling to you. I send you so much love. It's Father's Day in the U.S., so happy Father's Day to your fathers. Send them love and big kiss to you. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.